Welcome back to Fut-Afrique channel. I'm still with Posa, but this time around we are talking about the big final. It is important because it might be the last cup or last trophy that one of those two teams might have this season. So I know what you're thinking of. I tried very hard to have an Orlando Pirates supporter with us, but I couldn't get one. So there's still time. If you want to speak about your club that you love, you can still join us in Fut-Afrique channel and we'll have a conversation. But today, unfortunately, it might be one-sided because I've got a Sundowns supporter. So now Mpo is speaking as a Sundowns supporter. At the same time, I want him to educate me about Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns. Mpo, why should people get excited about this final?
Look, the final is, it pits the traditional and the new. So Pirates is the godfather of South African football. They're the oldest institution in terms of being around from 1937. When you listen to somebody ululating about Pirates, they go say, being from Orlando, it's somewhere, and they give you the history of the players that have played for Pirates. Traditionally, it's always been there. In the social economic period, in the history of South Africa, Pirates played a big part of that.
Oh, yeah.
And then you had...
By the way, on the continent, before you get there, on the continent, the biggest club known in Southern Africa, it is Orlando Pirates, is the biggest brand.
I think you're using the wrong English terms. Was Orlando Pirates?
No, still Orlando Pirates.
It depends on the people that you're talking to. If you're talking to the grey ones, they will remember the olden days.
No, still Orlando Pirates.
So which part of the continent are you going to?
I'm talking about the 54 African countries, except South Africa.
If you go to north, if you go to the north, if you go to Egypt, you go to Morocco,
you are telling me about the beautiful
Algeria.
story. You are telling me about the beautiful story. So the godfather of South African football, it's
Orlando Pirates.
Okay.
If you look at Kaizer Chiefs, where did Kaizer Chiefs come from? Kaizer Chiefs broke off.
Is a child
of Orlando Pirates. If you look at Swallows, the rivalry that was the original Soweto derby is between Swallows and Orlando Pirates.
Yes.
So any story that you've got to tell about South African football, it will have Orlando Pirates. On continental
the first country to have a star, Orlando Pirates.
So that's when the first team to go. I mean, Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs had been in continental competition, but had not won.
Yeah.
And if you look at the 96 squad, which we're still raving about, sadly so, that was made up of mainly of Orlando Pirates players.
Yeah.
So Orlando Pirates have got that history, and that's why I say they are the godfather. They know the ins and outs of the PSL. They know what to do. And then you have the Bafana Bastille from Pretoria. You look at Sundowns, when Sundowns came in from what would be known as the NFD today, they started becoming this team that's winning from Marabastad. Became the team that's winning that goes to HMPJ. You've got players, if you go back as far as NS Chirwale, you're looking at Jesse Queen Lugodu, you're looking at the likes of Mark Anderson, where they made their name, the likes of Iwi Kambule. You then get those to say, who are these guys that are now winning the then NSL championship? Then you're going, they're not only doing it a once-off, because if you look at the history record, you'll find once-off winners. But Sundowns, every 2 seasons, 3 seasons, they are in there in contention.
I mean, you're talking about the Manning Rangers, they won it once.
You're talking about Santos, they won it once. You're talking about the then back Highlands Park. So they've won it one. So then at the time, it was the dominance of Kaizer Chiefs. But Sundowns was always that disruptor of culture.
When they come, it's often 2.
Yeah.
And they go out.
So the first team to win back-to-back titles in South Africa under the PSL, when it's changed and NSL, it's Sundowns. Sundowns went back-to-back, and then that was with Ted Dimitri.
I feel the passion coming out of you. Do you want to sing? You feel like singing? You can sing.
You know, you're going to get me started to sing and then...
Sing.
Buyaya, buyelo, yao, buyaya, buyelo, yao, buyaya. Chris, we are not in Durban yet.
Okay.
So then there's this disruptor towards the norm, because the norm has been Soweto. Now and again, you had a team from Durban, the Durban Bushbucks that would come in, the Amazulu that would come in. But Sundowns is this constant thing. They won back-to-back. Then Ted left Sundowns, went to Chiefs, and Chiefs won back-to-back. Pirates started winning back-to-back.
So what will make me excited about this fixture is to disrupt or you are talking about the Godfather?
So what has happened is that now the Godfather is watching Sundowns taking over the throne. Okay. Because when you look at what has happened in South African football, 6-peat champions, unheard of, Sundowns. The Godfather, all he can do is watch. Is there a new sheriff in town? Is there a new king in town?
So you are not fearing the fact that Godfather, who knows the in and out, even though he is tired but he's not yet out, aren't you scared of this mammoth funnel?
So, and now we're then going to go into the form of who brings what form into this. When was the last Sundowns loss?
You think this funnel, we have to look at the form guard?
It's one of the things that does. Because you're going to look at the rich history of Orlando Pirates.
We looked at it already.
Okay, but the players that are there, have they been in this process of under pressure for this long time?
But yes, because last season, already by, not May, sorry, by February, we started looking at who's going to come second.
Who's going to come what?
Second on the log,
who was
on the
number
league.
One?
No, we know Sundowns were already number one. So wait. So the pressure was for Orlando Pirates to be spoken about. And they wish they delivered because they finished second, and they finished second with 2 caps. They are coming to this season. They are saying, if last year we finished second, this season we don't want the conversation of second to start.
But reality now, at 8 games that Sundowns has played,
they play 5.
WWWWW. It's 8 wins, and that's
By the way, let's just confirm, you're not talking about the internet here. You're not talking about worldwide.
No. So Sundowns,
you're talking about win.
In terms of the league, they've won 8 games. In the MTN 8, they've won the games except for the 1-0 draw with Kaizer Chiefs at Soccer City.
Yeah.
So you then look at a team that confidence is high. What causes that confidence to be high? It's the swagger that we're winning. We know how to win. The last time Sundowns lost a game was last season.
No, let's not. So there is something I would like to know. I heard about it many times. I've got you here, so I need to know about. Why do they call you the Brazilian?
So when you look at the colors of Mamelodi Sundowns, that's the Brazilian colors. That's where they come from.
That's the only reason they call it Brazilian.
And the football that Sundowns always aspire to is the Brazilian football. That's where they get that from. And then you will hear a lot of people, if you find a true Sundowns fan, if they don't talk about True Shine and Piano.
So actually, I think that was the question, the follow-up question. Do you guys used to clean people's shoes?
No.
Or play music? What is it? Why did they call you that?
In the days of a previous owner being Zola Mahobe, Zola Mahobe was a flamboyant character. He took Sundowns to the FA Cup, took Sundowns to play against top international teams in Europe. Took Sundowns and Fanny, one of the Pirates administrators now, that they stand Screamer Chabalan, was the coach. And he would tell you some of the things that used to happen. So Shoeshine and Piano, as explained, and I love when Tate Trotmolot explains it. Piano in Italian is slow things down. Having gone there, if you look at the history of the AC Milan of then under the likes of Saki and all those, it was about slow the game down. Don't rush forward. Go back, watch. 9 out of 10 if there's no space.
Enjoy the ball.
Keep the ball.
But this is what I knew about Kaizer Chiefs when I have arrived in this country in 1989. For you to get the ball from Kaizer Chiefs, it was a hardship.
But the interrupter then arrived. The Shoeshine and Piano.
But why?
Because when you then look at it, look at who Kaizer Chiefs was the dominant force.
They kept the ball.
They kept the ball. You had players like Doc Kumalo who would enjoy to keep the ball. Ace Kuse, funny enough.
Yeah.
Interesting story. Ace Kuse, before he joined Chiefs, he came from Sundowns. But before he joined Sundowns, he came from
What are you telling
Pirates.
me? I don't know that. Okay, listen, I'm here to learn, so I don't know that part of it.
So Did he? I mean,
he learned his football from...
So he came from the Godfather being Orlando Pirates.
Yes.
And then he went to hone his skills at Sundowns. And then he was shining at Kaizer Chiefs. So when you look at the way that Chiefs used to play, that it had very skillful players. You had Ace Kuse, you had Dr. Kumalo. And those were the players that you can always be able to count on. And they had a Swazi man by the name of Absalom Skaratintwa.
Up front there.
The jersey number 10 could bang in the shot. But it was always interesting because when you then went to Pretoria, you found a certain Malawian by the name of... Yes, he changed his surname later.
Many times, huh? When I came here, I think it was Ernest Chilwali. Yeah, when I came in the country.
So youngsters in that time, we used to play with a wrist guard because that's what he used to do. And when you look at him, he was elegance personified.
Okay, you made me
look at this JC.
You actually took me to the history of... we can stay here for another 2 hours. We are in 2023, and I've watched Sundowns play few games, and the few games I did commentary in the stadium. But I've never seen them start a season like they've started this season. What is the story behind this season's start? It's because they know they might be engaged somewhere else and they leave the PSL.
Look, I think what you've got to do, and you've got to give a lot of credit to the technical team, because what you could have had creep in was complacency. We've won the league before, we've walked the
Well, I see that. Most of the time I say Sundown, the games, even the game they drew, like against Kaizer Chiefs, I called it misplaced arrogance. So they still do that. I still feel there is that complacency.
So, but with the coach that they have, with the head coach that they have in Rulan Mukwena, Rulan is a technocrat. And I read an article somewhere where the legendary Jomo Sono was saying that, look, this man doesn't sleep. He probably sleeps on a laptop because he's a technocrat.
What's the relationship between Rulani and the Jomo, for people who don't know?
So from Rulani's father is a Sono, and that's the relationship. Okay. That's why when he went to Pirates, there was that spiritual thing, because being from the Rulani's father and Jomo being brothers, that's how it gets to be there.
Form guard is very bad when you look at it. We have a lot of...
Very bad is relative.
A lot of W's from Mamelodi Sundowns, and from Orlando Pirates, a lot of red. There were even talks that Orlando Pirates might lose their coach after this final if they don't win, according to his word. Going to this game, I've been told in football, in any sport, in anything in life, don't undermine your opponent before the fight. Yeah. But it sounds like you are undermining Orlando Pirates because you're keeping talking about when. So,
and here's the thing. I can guarantee you, and there's a Twitter friend of mine, Shamase, he's a diehard Orlando Pirates.
Please tell him to come in the studio.
I think he's based in KZN. And we always joke, and he always says, Pirates has not played with the same starting 11 for the last 5 games.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing.
No, they can have a big squad. What's your problem?
You can have a big squad, but you're not winning. So which means every time you're trying to find...
Okay, let's go to this game. What is, you think, because of the guard form, are you already saying you will beat Orlando Pirates?
Look, as a supporter, I'll always say Sundowns is going to win.
Good.
Get to the game, it's going to be a tough game, and Sundowns will still walk away 2-1 winners on the day.
Say it again?
2-1 winners on the day.
Wow.
Because when you look at, Orlando Pirates have got some phenomenal players. The one thing that has just not been on their side is the form and the lack of continuity in the team.
I love the fact that in South Africa we use them phenomenal players, great players, amazing talent. I don't believe in those things.
Look,
I believe they've got a good squad. That's all they've got.
They've got good squad.
Yeah.
If you look at one of their standout players this season is Paseka Mako.
They've got individual talent.
So you then say Paseka Mako, maybe it explains because he's a product of the Sundowns development. Maybe that's why.
So we have to go back to Sundowns.
No, I'm just putting it out there.
Why I have to take money to go to watch this final? Remember, football is not always about win and lose. You have to enjoy football. Do I have a reason to go to Durban to watch this game?
Have you seen Themba Zwane play?
Me, yes, many times.
The nicknames that Themba Zwane is called by, Shikabala, in African context. Chris, you can...
So
So that's
you
from
are
the
saying that
Sundowns.
is the reason.
That's the exciting football that Sundowns are playing. When you look at Tembazwane playing with Allende, that's like a combination that is made.
What are the battles on in these two games?
So you then go to the Pirates.
In this game.
You then go to the Pirates side. There is Maswangani and Mufukeng. Mufukeng is from their development, is a young, bright thing that's coming. If we look after that boy, he's going to be a star, I can tell you now, of South Africa.
Who will be in the goal for Orlando Pirates?
Well, it depends. If there's penalties, they'll bring in Ofori.
Who will be in the goal? Don't be political. Who will be in the goal for them?
China will be in goals for
China
them.
will start again.
Yeah. China will start at the back, and I can see.
Who's going to mark Seleng? Because remember, when he does this, your players they start doing some Pilates move.
Form this season for Seleng has been an issue. He's a shade of himself.
Okay.
That's why in a very critical game against Jwaneng, when they needed to qualify to be in group stages of the Champions League, Seleng was not even there.
I thought they are keeping him for MTN 8. So we've got to the end of this conversation. We'll never finish. MTN 8 final will be playing in Durban. You're a football lover, go and watch the game. And we get it here, why you should go and watch the game. Personally, for me, it is a game I'll sit back, relax, and enjoy it because Moroka Swallows are not part of it. Until next time, Paul, it is great. I hope I'll see you after the game when you win or lose.
All I ask the Sundowns guys if we can borrow the trophy to put it on the table.
We can do that as well. Thank you very much for watching and keep subscribing. Please subscribe. This is the channel where we only talk football. We are not in politics or we are not in any agenda. So, Mpo, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.